at this point, I'm pretty sure that you are indeed what's been keeping me here. Because we went through, you followed me all the way around this stupid quest to get the key to freedom, and all the while you're whining and moaning, and then you say that, oh, the suppressor is all around us. He's every brick, he's every beam, he's every pool of blood. And by extension, that means he's also you. So...
Well, well. So you figured it out. Yes. I am what keeps you in this place. But was it blind rage that made you act, or have you truly understood who I am? Have you understood what drives you and determines your actions?
Stupidity and a need to explore.
And the water filling your lungs is cold. But you still haven't found it, child. Have you?
I'm confused. This looks like the Sun Temple. Oh hey, just far. And this. We're in the Sun Temple. Where is everyone? You gonna ignore me?
Oh, hey. Good to see you awake. How are you feeling?
Confused is a good way to put it. Where are the others?
Good question. The room was empty when I came here. Actually, that's quite weird now that you mention it. The entire temple seemed kind of deserted. But, probably a ceremony or something like that. Now, tell me, how are you holding up? I heard this trial's quite the feat. Apparently some of the novices never wake up again.
Tired, mostly.
In the temple. The curarium, to be precise. You were brought here when you were traveling with that Ixon guy. I think the others are already awake, but I didn't want to leave you here, so I thought I'd just stay. I mean, hey, you are a keeper of the first sigil now, aren't you? I believe congratulations are in order.
Don't really feel like I earned that. I'm not letting it get to my head.
Well, you shouldn't.
What?
You know why? Because you're pathetic. Simply pathetic.
You're not really helping right now. What do you mean?
I said you are pathetic.
Okay, voice
change. At first we believed it would be more exciting this time. But now that we've seen the new prophet, our hopes are gone. You're a joke.
A nobody who let his only friend kick the bucket.
Not my fault.
You'd ever accept that. You humans are always so damn persistent, aren't you? Why? Why can't you just let go?
Because in the end, you are powerless, just as all those before you. And you, prophet, you are the biggest joke of all.
You are nothing but an urchin.
A weakling.
Oh, you're all making me feel very nice. Oh, hi.
And that is why you will burn. All of you. The
you guys behind the Red Madness, aren't you?
And there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Who are you? Why are you doing this? What have we done to you?
What have you done to us? You are so naive. The world is an interplay of cause and effect, and the only logical consequence of your existence is annihilation. That's the way it was, and that's the way it's going to be.
So because we all die, you're going to kill us?
But enough of the banter, urchin. We wanted to meet you, and so we did, even though the result is rather sobering. Now wake up. Keep on stumbling through the mist.
I'm going to find you. Dunmore? Celia! Oh, my chest. Which I can't search.
Thank Malphus. I was starting to think I was the only one.
You're alive, I guess.
You look exhausted.
Well, surprise, surprise, I am.
Of course. Sorry. That remark was a little redundant. But it's good to see the Grandmaster was right after all. I woke up just a few hours earlier, and he was here in the meantime. He didn't doubt for a single second that you would make it. But I suppose mutual congratulations are in order. We made it. We passed the trial.
Hey, good for us. So we're keepers now?
Almost, yes. All that is left to do is to take the oath, and then Grandmaster Aranthiel will exalt us to the keepers of the first sigil. Speaking of whom, he also told me some things while you were asleep. About the Pyreans, about these dreams, and of course, about this cycle. This is so bizarre, really. At first we're told out of nowhere that the gods have died, and now humanity is on the brink of extinction. This is a lot to take in.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Do I really want to say that? No, I don't. I'm not gonna come here and say, okay, these guys who you promised to serve, they're kind of dicks. So what do you make of all this cleansing? It's a lot to take in.
Hard to say. I never had those dreams the Grandmaster talked about, even though I'm magically gifted. But then again, I always had the feeling that the Red Madness was more than an ordinary disease. Well, I suppose all of this explains a lot. At least now I can understand why the Grandmaster was willing to break all the traditions of the Order just to get you exalted to be a keeper.
Yeah,
According to him, most of our battle against the cycle will stand or fall with you.
No pressure, though. I wish I could say that, yeah, that's the understatement of the century. I don't really think I've understood all that's happened to me yet.
Yes, I believe that. It's a great responsibility you've been given. And as impressive as your skills are, I would not want to change places with you.
Thanks. So what's the next step?
Well, as I said, we both have to take the Holy Oath. You should talk to the Grandmaster as soon as you're ready. He's waiting for you in the Emporium.
What about Dunwar? Is he gonna be alright?
Right. Dunwar. The apothecary examined him about an hour ago, and it doesn't look good. It's likely that he'll never wake up again.
I'm sorry for your loss. He didn't deserve to die, even if he was kind of a douchebag.
No, in spite of everything. You know, Dunwar was one of those people who tried to gild their insecurity with boastful behavior. The reality is that he was the last of his bloodline, and his faith in the path and his destiny as a keeper were all that he had left. And who knows? Maybe he would have been a great help to the Order with the right guidance. But I guess Master Bartar's revelation was just too much for him. It's hard to be told that everything you've lived for was a lie.
I mean, you don't seem to be too shaken up, though. Dunwar was the last of his bloodline?
Yes. All of the Dalmordans fell victim to the Great Flesh Maggot Plague of 8215. Actually, it was almost sad to see him running around and boasting about his nobility, though everyone knew that without the help of the Order, he would have probably ended up living in a shack in the Undercity. If you can call that living.
You don't seem to be all too shook up over this. I mean, the death of the Lightborn, that's kind of your entire thing, is that you worship them, right?
Well, maybe I just don't show it as much. But yes, in a way, you're probably right. I suppose that's mainly due to the fact that to me, as opposed to Dunwar, the Order always stood for an idea. And an idea doesn't die with the one who first thought of it. Funny that the Grandmaster said nearly the same thing during the exaltation. Dunwar would have considered it blasphemy.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but the Lightborn kind of cost thousands of lives. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying they're, unrepentant murderers, but they're not exactly the beacons of purity and virtue either,
That's true. A lot of crimes were committed during the Lightborn's reign, and I don't want to minimize that. But I also think a lot of those crimes were unavoidable. so to speak. Imagine you're the king of a small island, and one day your realm gets attacked by a fleet of Skyrim Reavers. The invasion catches you completely off guard, and within a few hours, the Reavers have advanced to the farmland, just a few feet from your city's main gates. And before you know it, you have to make a decision. Will you use the time that remains to entrench your army within the city's walls to have a better chance of surviving a siege? Or do you send them into the field to fight the Reavers there, knowing that there is only a slight chance to save the farmers, but a big risk that you will lose both the city and the farmers?
I'd probably try to send out a small platoon, just enough soldiers to get the farmers inside the gate. I mean, if I didn't at least try, the farmer's blood would be on my hands.
It would, yes. But what if your foray fails, and ends up being the reason why the Scarab can break through the city's fortifications? Wouldn't that too make you responsible for all the townsfolk they would kill once they got in? What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter what you do. There will be people who will despise you for your decision. If your attempt to rescue the farmers fails, you will be accused of having acted blindly and idealistically. And if you just stay in the city, they will say you didn't even try. Of course, there's a small chance the foray might work, but should decisions like that really be made as if they were a game of dice?
No,
As
not really.
I don't mean to absolve the Lightborn of their crimes, but I'd wager my left hand that they had a lot of similar decisions to make.
Alright, I guess I can see your point. I might not agree with them, but I can see your point. So, what was that thing about at the ritual site? Dunwar said you were a witch? That doesn't seem like something the Keeper would support.
I knew the question would come eventually. I suppose the answer depends on whether you're in the mood for some gloomy talk. Sooner or later, you'll hear it from someone else anyway, so why not from me first?
Alright. Go ahead, shoot.
As you wish. Where should I start? Maybe with the fact that I don't remember anything that happened before my 6th winter. I don't know where I was born, and I never got to know my parents.
So you don't remember? How come?
I wish I knew. What I do know, though, is that the first memory I have is of waking up in the middle of some village. It was dark, and I felt dizzy and, I don't know, empty? That's probably the best way to describe it. I eventually found the strength to get up and look around, and, well, that's when I realized what was actually going on around me.
What was going on?
The entire village. It had been destroyed. There were corpses everywhere. Men, women, children, and the houses had been crushed as if some mad god had rampaged through the streets there. And it had all just happened hours before because the destruction was still fresh. Whatever it was, I didn't have much time to think about it. As soon as I got up, I saw 3 riders coming through the smoke. One of them got off his horse, ran towards one of the corpses, and started screaming something in my direction. Then I felt a blow on the back of my head, and I lost consciousness. By the name of the sun, it's strange to talk about it like this. It's been so long, but the memory feels as if it had happened yesterday.
They attacked you because they thought you'd done it? A 6-year-old child?
Well, it turned out the riders were hunters who had come from that village. They must have observed the whatever it was from the distance and ridden back to the village. At least I think that's how it went. I guess I'll never find out. The reason they thought I was somehow involved is that the village priest found me a couple of days before it happened near a shrine in the wilderness. Apparently, I was wearing torn clothing, and no matter what the apothecary tried, he couldn't wake me up from my comatose sleep. And it seems that made the writers think I was some kind of witch child, or unholy beast, whichever you prefer.
They thought a 6-year-old child destroyed an entire village? That's ridiculous.
For you, maybe. For them, as simple people, it was probably the best explanation they had. And think about it, it's not that far off. A motherless child who neither talks nor breathes steadily is found abandoned on the roadside and has a strange mark on her face. They leave to go hunting, and when they come back, they find their village in ruins with that foundling child being the only survivor. You have to admit, it's not that much of a stretch, even if those men hadn't been superstitious farmers.
I suppose. And they wanted to do what? Take their revenge?
Probably. Truth be told, I try not to think about it too much. And actually, it doesn't matter, because I somehow managed to get away before they could do anything. I even made it to Ark all by myself, which didn't turn out to be much of an improvement in the end, because I was pathless.
So they brought you to the Undercity, right?
Yes. Thinking about it now, I actually wonder how I made it through my time down there. But maybe that's one of the advantages of being a child. You don't think. You just act. Still, the winters down there were cruel, and if Master Tyrus hadn't found and taken care of me, I probably wouldn't have made it through my second year.
Master Tyrus? A keeper found you and chose to take you in?
Yes, otherwise I would not be here. Yep. He saw me, and he knew what he had to do, is how he put it. Of course, the Order wasn't too happy about a pathless child in the Scuola, just as some aren't happy about you being here. But Tyrus was a highly regarded man, and that's why they let it slide.
Huh. So he just decided to adopt you? You'll forgive me if I have my suspicions about that. That seems extraordinarily kind and almost out of character for the Order. It's kind of too good to be true.
It does, yes. But then he had lost both his wife and daughter 5 years before he found me, so
Okay,
maybe I was some
sense.
kind of substitute. I don't know. But in the end, it doesn't matter. I owe him everything. He was a good man, and that's all that matters.
Why is the Order so preoccupied about Pathless? I mean, I suppose it makes sense that you don't want people getting out of line with the whole order their God King established, but it seems weird to not look for talent everywhere they find it.
That's right, we do. But we are both still pathless, and that disqualifies us according to the holy verses. I guess now you understand why I was never as connected to Malphas's teaching as Dunwar was. To some of the Keepers, I am still an outcast, and no matter what I do, I always will be.
Well, that sucks. So we granted you the novitiate.
Yes.
Whatever that is.
And now I'm here. Well, here we've reached the end of my impressive tale. I hope you liked it.
Yeah. What happened to Master Tyrus? Is he still alive? Is he gone? Is he gone now?
Gone. He was very old, and there was nothing anyone could do about it. But I'd prefer not to talk about it, if you don't mind.
Of course, I'm sorry. So Dunwar believes this story. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's see what it says. You're definitely not the fisherman's daughter from the village, I'll give you that. You're something special.
No, I guess I'm not.
So what happened? So Dunwar believes the story that... How did Dunwar hear the story? He believes it's true?
He does, yes, and he's not alone in his opinion. One of those hunters recognized me in the market my first year as a novice, and you can imagine that it was easy pickings for those who were already against my presence in the Order. From then on, they added names to the derogatory stares. Demon Child, Witch, whatever they could come up with.
People are bastards. Yeah. They're jealous of you. You're talented, intelligent, pretty. You're the only one who made it through the trial. They're jealous of you.
Yes, maybe. You know what's funny? To some extent, I'm glad to be who I am. That way, people just leave me alone, and that gives me more time to focus on what's important. On my goals.
What are your goals?
Several. But I'd say that's enough of the gloomy stories, don't you think? There will be plenty of time for chatter in the future. Maybe.
Assuming we all survive the end of the world, yeah. Let's go talk. We should see the Grand Master now.
You should. It's already late, but if you want, I can show you the most important places in the temple before you go to the Emporium. What do you think?
That would be nice. Yeah, sure, why not?
Good. Then get your gear from the chest by your bed and we'll go. Now then, let's go.
There you go. All hail the newest keeper. I still think this is an awesome statue.
Alright, this is the sanctum. It's a place of silence and prayer, and also where we'll be exalted later.
Pathlessness wherever you look. Where is this supposed to be? Who knows?
This is holy ground, Outlander.
Keeper, go
You
away.
do not belong here.
Walk blessed.
Oh, wrong way.
Yeah, as if. Bloody weather.
Never walked back home.
Wait, did I just hear Jespar? I thought you left. Come on, load faster so I can run back in there. I'll be right back, you know?
Okay, I think you've seen this place before. We call this part of the temple the Chronicum, and in here is gathered the knowledge of the Order, written down in books and parchments. Plus, all of the experiments and research on artifacts and magic is done here. So it's a place you'll probably see often in the near future. Ah, and just below the Chronicum is the temple smithy. You should go there if you need equipment.
Oh, that's good to know.
Over there. That's the Scuola and the quarters, where both the keepers and the novices live. There's also a training room where everything from swordplay to marksmanship can be trained and taught. You will find some skilled teachers there. Well, I think that's about it. You've already been to the Emporium, and I assume to the Eye of the Gods as well. I suggest you speak to the Grandmaster as soon as you're ready to take the oath.
Alright, what about you?
Prepare myself, probably. Now walk blessed. I will see you soon.
Jespar! I thought you said you were going to leave.
Where's he supposed to lead us?
I know I heard your voice. Where'd you go?
Oh my. Oh, you just don't get any younger.
My sir.
What blessed, my sir?
Come on, where'd you go?
Now, where did I put that?
That's gonna really bother me, you know that? He just starts singing and then he disappears? Was that a hallucination? I'm still trying to work through what I've been told, that, you know, I'm dead, this is an illusion, and that is an incredibly intense and in detail illusion created by my mind as I'm basically sinking to the bottom of the ocean and I'm seconds away from dying. Which of these is the Emporium? That's the Emporium. Okay. Grandmaster.
It sounds absurd.
I don't believe I know. The mercenary, he might not be the shining knight of Castle Starsound, but he's better than most of your men. I want him, and you will need to convince your true Chesser of it.
Is that so? Very well. I will convince her. You will hear from me.
I hope so. Well, look at that. You've actually survived the pointless test. Let's hope those ignorant fools will treat you with...
Oh no. Alright, let's try that once more.
Sounds absurd.
I don't believe I know. The mercenary, he might not be the shining knight of Castle Starsound, but he's better than most of your men. I want him, and you will need to convince your true Chesser of it.
Is that so? Very well. I will convince her. You will hear from me.
I hope so.
Prophet, good to see you. How do you feel?
Yeah, a bit beaten up, but apart from being lied to somebody who yeah, you never told me it could have killed me. And, you know, that seems like something important to you if you want the guy to work with you.
Oh, what? So little confidence in yourself. I knew you would pass. If I had doubted your abilities, even to the slightest, I would have never spoken out for you.
Well, that's
in any case,
I suppose.
all that is left to do now is to recite the oath. Then we will finally deal with the more urgent matters.
Okay, so what do I swear on? The dead gods, my loyalty towards the Order?
None of it. You'll see.
Okay, let's do this.
The ceremony needs a little preparation. 1 day at least. Come back then. Even if it hurts to lose more time, the cleansing approaches. I can feel it. Just this night I had another of the dreams.
So what did you see?
People I knew, including you. But these people weren't themselves. There was something else, and it spoke through them. They mocked us and said our struggle against the cycle was pointless. It was peculiar.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I believe that these beings are connected to the cycle. They must be the ones who cause it.
You know, that's interesting. I had the same dream before I woke up.
You did? That is interesting.
Troubling is what it says.
It must be related to our roles as emissaries. Maybe there is a connection between us.
Yeah, that'll be good. We can use the connection to find more emissaries. Did you have a weird dream a day ago? Come to the Sun Temple. We promise it's not a trap. So, do we have any idea who they are?
None. Maybe they are demons or magical entities of some kind, but they are different from everything I know. In any case, if they are indeed responsible for the cycle, they are our enemies. That's what matters for now. Come back tomorrow for the ceremony.
Will do. Weren't you in prison for quite a long time? That's a rather awkward thing to just jump to. Hi, you were in prison for 30 years.
Pathlessness. Wherever you look.
Magisters never change.
Oh, that's beyond me.
So, first things first, we're gonna jump down here and take a look at this scuola. I'd like to see whether they have books of some kind that I can, you know, borrow and kind of read and destroy in the process. Especially expert level books of rhetoric. I'm still not sure I have enough learning points to use them, but I'd like to at least try. Actually, I have no crafting points, so that's no point anyway. So maybe they'll have expert level books of archery that I can read.
My sir, wait a moment.
Who are you?
Whew. There you are. Here, a letter for you.
Who's it from? Thanks, kid.
What? Oh, that's very generous of you. Thank you. Safe travels, and may his light guide you.
You know, you're a brave kid to just run up to the Sun Temple like that. My friend, congratulations for passing the trial. You already know how I feel about the Red Cloaks and their, let's say, superior attitude. But still, it would rob me of my sleep to know that I didn't congratulate you in person. Should your holy duties allow it, meet me at the old watchtower at the western gate of Art. Cordially, Jespar. Hey, good to see you, man.
Well met.
That's the quarters. Is a scuola under it? Yes, it is. So, can I train my archery on it? Hey, that's much better. Where is everyone? Is it... Oh, I guess it's night, so it'd be understandable if they just went home, but... You know, I see all the training dummies, but is that all there is to learn here? Are there no books? Oh, here we go, underneath. And a hanged body. I suppose that's to examine anatomy. Oh, hello.
May his light guide you.
And a
May
book I
his
haven't read.
light guide you.
Oh, and it's stealing. Never mind. Elementalism is the most widespread of magical disciplines. They manipulate fire, earth, water, and air. Relatively safe. Prestigious. It's most people like it. Cool. Okay.
Who are you?
Oh, Kalia. How's it going? You don't want to talk to me, all right?
Walk blessed.
You too.
Who are you?
So I guess we head out this way, then climb up the stairs again. I expected kind of more from a school, you know? Like learning books and the ability to say, okay, I'm going to use these now. So, in the absence of anything really pressing, I have a few errands I could run around the city. I could go to the Undercity, look for that key. I could bring the artifact from old Mishkamor to Tiwon, whoever he is. go talk to Jafar.
Magister Carlos is the name.
Carlos. Why's that?
No, they're talking to him, not me.
I don't know. But I think it's Dr. Tom who is last week.
Or I could use the stairs like a civilized person. You know, I love Ark. It's a wonderful city. It's a great place to get around, but it seems like every area has loading screens galore. So, am I going actually? Where did she say the key was? Excuse me. Oh, the marketplace of the Undercity, okay. You know what, let's head to the watchtower. This is the way to the outside, right? The barrack quarter. And are there any bounties? Maulus. Now Malus isn't the name of my friend, I don't think. So yeah, let's take that. Whoops, that's the wrong door. That's the south quarter, not the north. Whatever. We'll just go outside. Actually, we might as well pop into the Undercity because we're right there right now. What time is it right now? Oh, it's 3 a.m. I thought it was more like 8. That after this I could go visit Just Bar and have fun with them. So, the market near the Undercity, huh?
Please, I'm so hungry.
Does this place also have... This place has multiple districts. I didn't know that. Man, this place is miserable.
Move along.
Who are you?
Huh?
Not talking to me, okay. Marketplace, here we go. You said if you did it in a barrel, right? I can't get over here, okay. Crap, I didn't mean to do that, push the wrong button. While I'm here, do I have any mana points to spend? No, I don't. That barrel, you said. Look.
Keep walking.
Here, have some money.
Thank you.
It was too late.
Are a good person.
Penny, my son. Please, just one penny.
Keep walking. Bloody vermin. All of them.
Not a very friendly marketplace, is it? So over there, how can I get back there? Ah, here we are. This way to the marketplace, actually.
Blazes, damn it, this is ridiculous.
It's called
ridiculous?
life, Nathalia. 30 per sheep, and not 1 penny less.
Oh, let the flesh maggots have you.
May your path always be even, my dame.
What is she talking about? Don't go through the door. I want to talk to you.
What?
What happened?
I don't see how that concerns you. Don't you have some theatre play to attend to, Sunchild?
Well, maybe I can help, but I don't see why I should want to.
Help me? Well, I doubt that. That is unless you have a pouch with 300 pennies to give away. Oh, and maybe 2 sheaves of God's tongue to go with it.
I'm only trying to help.
I don't know. I'm sorry. You seem like an upright kind of fellow, but I can tell you're from the surface, and I'm just having a hard time believing a Sunchild actually cares about my problems.
Chronic hero syndrome is a thing. So what do you need the money for?
You're really nosy. You know that. But fine. What bad can it do? That son of a Virtue over there, Cabal Thorwall. He's the only merchant in the Undercity who still has Vinroot in his stocks. But since he knows that, he sells it for a price that would have upper city snobs running away screaming. Well, and if the apothecary in the pest house doesn't get new roots soon, the infected they treat there will start dying like flies within a day.
And they can't buy from the surface? Are you an apothecary?
Sure, by day. And by night I work as the Grandmaster's personal Kalian dancer. Jokes aside. Nah, I'm just an errand girl. But down here, having paid work is already something to feel blessed for.
And they can't buy from the surface merchants?
They could, and they do. Aye. But that's by far not enough. Especially since the cloister of the League up north has been snowed in for moons now. And as noble as their intentions are, they only have so much coin without their League backing them up.
Who's the cloister? They can only be treated with vineyard?
You're no alchemist, are you? Aye. Red vine root is the only thing that can help get those flesh maggots out of an infected body. I repeat, can. Even with a proper treatment, most people don't make it through.
And he doesn't lower his prices? He must know what's at stake.
Of course he does. But he sees an opportunity to get rich quick, and so he uses it. He's always been like that.
Maybe I could try talking to him. I mean,
Maybe
I am
you
a smooth
could,
hobby.
I guess it'll be worth a shot. We need at least 10 sheaves so that the apothecary can make use of them. And I don't want to seem ungrateful, but don't expect to get anything in return for your help.
It's not a big change of pace, so yeah, you don't need to give me anything.
Huh? Well, fine then. Good luck.
I hear you're kind of a bastard. You know that? I hear you're selling red
Remember
vineyard.
the name of the sun. Won't this ever stop? Tell Nathalia, the apothecary, or whoever sent you that the price stays.
She said that without the root, doesn't people will die? Doesn't mean anything to you?
It does actually, yes. But it does not change the fact that I need to live somehow too. And that 300 per sheaf is already a fair price. Go on, ask those upper city merchants. You're lucky if they sell it below 500. Listen, I know exactly what you think. This ruthless bastard, how greedy, how evil, and so on and so forth.
Something like that.
Well, that's not how it is, believe me. So, back to business. Are you looking for supplies? If not, just shove off.
Do I have 300 pennies? Give me 10 of those roots?
Yeah. Now that's a surprise. I expected a speech. Here you go. Pleasure doing business with you.
Did I have 300 pennies? Apparently I did. Wait, you're not Natalia?
My son,
there she is. No wait, that's my that's what I get for beating people up.
Huh?
Here you go. 10 sheaves of images.
Blazes? You're serious? Where? On second thought, bet I don't ask. Thank you, Sunchild. You saved a lot of lives today.
Figure if I have money, it's the least I can do. 2,100 experience points! I should do this more often. Ooh, hello. What are you, a merchant?
Well, yeah. Let me put it this way. If you're looking for equipment, I'm sure I'll have a thing or two which might pique your interest. And I'm not averse to a good find of yours.
Oh, that's good.
Borrowed items? I'm not sure what you mean.
You have extra books of rhetoric? That's good. They're expensive, and I just spent most of my money on the... Oh no! I could have bought 2 of those. What can I sell you? Give me some ambrosia.
Safe travel.
And do you have any lockpicks that I can buy?
Well, yeah. Let me put it this way. Borrowed items? I'm not sure what you mean.
Let's buy the rest of those lockpicks then. And yeah, that should be good.
Safe travels.
Keep walking.
What's my ambrosia? What's my arcane fever? 41%. I didn't realize it got that high. Much better.
Pity.
Hard to believe I'm already level 25. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's head to the bank, get the guy his money, and then go see if Jesper has hung around until morning.
My sir.
Wrong key.
Why is that stuff so expensive?
Okay. Wait, Old Waterworks. Alright, I suppose that's the entrance to the Undercity. Crap, no. Wait, Highwayman, what are you doing out here?
Shit! You're fucking burned for this.
I didn't realize you were the person I was looking for. I'm sorry. Now we're just gonna leave you blind because that's stuff I can sell in the morning. anything else interesting in here? Ooh, chest, hello. Recipes, that looks interesting. So glow dust uses magical energy, resist magic, weak, and paralysis. Oh, that's good. And a staff of grounding. I'm just taking everything here, you know. So are these guys just bandits living here? Is this what you want to do? I warned you. Death breath. This goes up to the nobles' quarters. Why does it go up to the nobles' quarters?
A penny, my sir. Please, just one penny.
Not right now, thanks. Well, that's two good deeds, I think. Okay, so that means we can report to the bounty board that that guy is dead.
Can I help you?
Anything new? Aura Millendance is a rustler who most likely is hiding near the old lighthouse at the farmer's coast. She was seen while stealing cattle and sacrificing it at several nights. Attention, while magical silver should be expected, there are 250 Enderalian pennies issued for her death.
Rain. Of course it had me.
Ah, there she is, up north.
Always go too easy on the scum.
That's the foreign quarter, right? No, south quarter. You know, I need to find out whether there is a Mystic Bow rank 5.
Yes?
So is this guy still outside in the cold and the rain at 4 a.m.?
Some people just don't know their place in the world.
Well, comes a point, and you just have to live with it.
Oh, that's no good. Is she in the Undercity? Yes, of course she is. Well, we'll deal with that another time because we need to go find T1. T1 is... Huh. You know, I don't think I've seen that court of the city over here. Or at least this corner of this city. Screw Hats, Odds and Ends Incorporated. Hello. Who are you?
Tywin Summerfield. By my path, accountant of Screws, Hats, Odds and Ends Incorporated. Even though I doubt the two of us have common ground, so to speak.
Why wouldn't we have common ground?
Doesn't matter. Maybe I'm mistaken.
What is Screws, Hats, Odds and Ends then?
You don't know this? How can I explain? We are an association of thinkers, highly gifted thinkers of sterling origin to be precise. And Screws, Hats, Odds and Ends is our guild, to put it in worldly terms. Ah, and did I forget to mention that we are the #1 supplier of the Holy Order in terms of metalware and sterling technology?
Yeah. Actually, I'm looking for work, because I think I might have something I can help you with.
Work? No. That is... Maybe yes.
Don't lie to me, I have a quest marker pointing to you.
You get around quite a lot, don't you? You certainly look like it.
I guess I do, yeah.
Fine then. I suppose it's worth a try. There is something, and a person of your talents could come in handy. A grand-scale assignment we recently took on.
Go ahead, tell me.
One of our customers ordered replications of several Pyrean artifacts. A most exquisite wish, of course any of our people could fulfill. However, our current problem is that we still need many of those artifacts' originals to work with. If you could recover those originals for us, you would be generously rewarded.
Well...
Here, these are some of the ruins that might be worthwhile visiting.
Okay. Who's the employer? Is it the Holy Order? Why would they want Pyrean artifacts?
Sorry, but this is none of your concern.
Okay, I'll see if I can get some of these.
Splendid. Come back once you've found something.
Does this look useful to you?
You are certainly quick. Let me take a look. Yes, that does look good. How would you like to be recompensated for your efforts?
Quid of Thievery, that sounds interesting.
Fine. Anything else? If not, please leave me to my work.
Hey, level up.
Until...
So let's get a look at this thing. Well, that's not as good as my current armor, honestly. But...
next time. Maybe.
Okay. Now that is a look I like.